What's going on? We're back. It's been a couple days since I've been on stream. Been posting every day on YouTube though. Make sure you go and subscribe to the YouTube. We got some videos. We're gonna do these two music type videos, get right back into our random reaction type videos. I think that's the plan for today. If you guys got song reviews, make sure you send them in the chat. I'll do those. All right. Our first video we got. Also, let me know if the audio is whack. It's been quiet, so I try to figure it out. I think I got it. I think I'm ready. Um, First video is the new underground wave is bigger than people realize. Let's get right into this.
I've been saying this whole thing for a while. Underground doesn't even mean what it used to anymore. Back then, underground meant hidden. No real motion, no real platform, no real reach, but still having these guys that said fuck everything else that's going on and brought their own sound to something that was very special over time. But now you got those same artists, right? Selling out venues, shutting down festivals, finding some way on Billboard 200, building cool fan bases, and creating some of the most passionate crowds we've seen in years. At Rolling Loud, for example.
Dude, you seen some of the craziest high energy performances at Rolling Loud, and in music in general, the underground rap scene is the most chaotic. It is the most emotional packed crowds you're gonna find. The people that go to these shows, they bring the energy, and that's why it's a top tier album for me, or genre.
And it's just my honest opinion. That's not underground. That's the new divide, the new mainstream, forming in real time. And I seen what Academy said, and I feel like that's the missing point that he had. When he said there's no middle class in rap anymore, I somewhat disagree because the middle class didn't disappear. It just shifted. The attention moved to the new wave. And I'm seeing the mainstream and the industry still look at these artists like placeholders because they don't fully understand what they're looking at yet. But the fans do because the new gen built itself without that. Without the industry structure, no radio involved. There's
They're starting to wake up. These new gen rappers are starting to wake up and see you don't need a label. You don't need a whole production team behind you. If you have a laptop, you get a microphone, dude, you're set. A lot of these new gen rappers are self-produced as well, and that takes an entire different skill set.
a lot of artists that are signing, but we know that label push is not needed for the start at all. But we see time and time again more artists push to be more independent, and even some of the most popular.
Which is good because labels, all they do is take. They'll push your name out there a little bit, but for the most part, labels gonna screw you over. They're gonna tell you what you can and can't put out. They're gonna tell you what to do, and if you don't, you get put in the closet.
Artists right now are in distro deals. Their fan base do the work for them. Also, no mainstream cosigns required. The SoundCloud era, SoundCloud wave as you put it, 2016 to about 2018, right? They created their own ecosystem. And right now, you're just seeing a branch off from it. But it's a new form. These artists build fan bases through discourse, TikTok edits, underground pages, streamers, repost accounts, meme culture, YouTube clips and shorts, and these comms that genuinely care. That's why the support looks so different. People can catch on. It's not casual anymore. People don't just listen to these artists anymore. They represent them. They dress like them, talk like them, edit videos around them, travel to go see them, throwing out random ass symbols with their fingers, defend them online.
Bro, the hand signal thing is kind of crazy. Every single underground rapper has like a hand signal, I swear to God. And be getting spammed. I just do shit with my hands. I don't even know what I be doing. I probably be throwing stuff I should not be throwing up, but I don't care. Anyway, I was gonna say that
Talk like them, edit videos around them, travel to go see them, throwing.
we're traveling to go see him. There is literal, I don't know, there's literal like crowdfunding sources, groups of people to follow rappers on tour. It's crazy.
Throwing out random ass symbols with their fingers. Defend them online like a fucking sports team. That's why we see all this music discourse going around, surrounding the underground, comparison after comparison. I mean, there's a reason for that happening. That's why these shows feel different. And even Rolling Loud just exposed that to everybody.
Molly Santana. That's all I had to say. Sorry.
People try to downplay this scene like it was some tiny niche.
Parents of
Let
children who play
L
Roblox.
at L
If your
at
child was sexually
get off of my
exploited,
screen.
abused, or pressured to share
Internet wave, right? But then those same artists been touching the same festival stages.
What is your, thoughts on the current underground and, the new music, things that you're liking, things that you're not liking, and
I
just
don't
even
not like
advice?
nothing. I don't not like nothing. But the new underground, bro, it's like at a level that, bro, these kids superstars. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like we doing them a disservice calling it the underground. Like, these kids superstars, gang. Like, you see Nets been on tour. Like, Nets been performing, like, it look like performing in, like, big capacity venues, like, no little kid venues.
Mm.
Like, these kids, they superstars, bro. Like, we need to, because when we was the underground, like, I mean, it was like the gold rush in like 2017 when they started signing people. Like, but at first, nobody was getting paid from that. Like,
Yeah.
these kids is like millionaires, like going into it. Like, in a way that probably hinders some of them
Mm-hmm.
because it's so early.
And you can see this shit for yourself. People are saying this. That energy look bigger than
That's a fair point. When you get money so early in your career, you might lose a lot of your like drive and your passion. You start to see success super early and you might lose that drive to keep creating. I've seen that in artists.
half of the mainstream acts that people have been forcing for years. But the people that have been paying attention for a while and supporting these new artists, right, weren't shocked at all. This has been happening. The quote unquote underground, as you put it, has been building one of the strongest systems in music, but support system for the last 3 to 4 years. The difference now is that the rest of the industry is finally seeing it publicly. You can't call these artists underground forever and building this unnecessary ass barrier when they're charting here and there, right? It might not be a global hit or some shit like that, or a song that's on the top 100. That's very rare, but it's definitely a thing where they're qualifying on the Billboard 200 with their albums. They're also touring and selling out small to medium sized venues. That's way better than 75% of what the mainstream scene is at right now in terms of middle class.
Mainstream rap is falling off, I swear. This guy fell out of the mainstream completely. He's in the underground space right now. First rapper to do that, I swear, I think. Lil TJ is so ass.
Those guys is off the hook now. Academic said it himself. He don't even know where those guys is at. They can't sell. They asking for too much money for Rolling Loud, knowing that they're not at that place no more. Just doesn't make sense. The new rising up and coming rappers filled in those places for the younger audience and bring newer eyes. Guys who run these big festivals, right? I can see why they will book a newer artist, fresh, who got a small, medium-sized spark going on for himself, where you can definitely see his support base and how strong it is, and knowing for a fact that he's gonna bring in some pull. Of course, I'm gonna cut off half of what I was gonna spend on this artist that's not as high anymore, who has this crazy ass ego and his pride is too strong to just dumb down the price and perform and give a decent show. But I can bring a newer artist in where their support base is way more visible than yours though. And when he get on that list, the fan base gonna eat that up. And you watched all his other shows, his other tours, the raw clips out there on TikTok, different platforms and shit like that, and seeing the kind of wave and energy that he brings to the table when it's time to present. And you got people out there doing the 10K to 20K range. And then you got the bigger artists like Ken, Yeet, Lone, that's touching that mainstream layer. Lone was nearly at 40K. Look at what Ken is doing right now. 50 and 60Ks, qualifying for Billboard, selling out merch, headlining.
Ken is not underground anymore. I had a little argument with somebody saying Osama-san isn't underground. I would still say Osama-san is underground. Yes, he's more well known. He's at the top of the underground. He's still under 2 million monthly listeners on Spotify. So I say he still qualifies.
Growing festivals. But just look at this branch off that we're seeing. The top 10 on every section are quote unquote underground artists, as y'all put it. And what they did recently was a moment for the culture. At some point, the label just stopped making sense. And honestly, I think we're reaching that point where we need a new term. Another thing that people overlook is influence. A lot of these sounds, aesthetics, visuals, editing styles, production trends, vocal styles, fashion movements, and internet slang, the mainstream, as you put it, is reacting to the underground right now, not the other way around. And
Exactly. The mainstream guys are looking to the underground for content. Why? Because their labels have them locked. They're looking for creative outlets. And that is where all the numbers are. And the youth is starting to get into music. The newer generation of listeners, They're not listening to the typical mainstream. They're not listening to Kendrick Lamar. They're not listening to Roddy Rich. They're not listening to Trippie Redd. They're not listening. They might listen to Uzi. Uzi's kind of the goat.
I know y'all finna say, well, they're just copy and paste from the mainstream guys, or the people that popped off in the SoundCloud wave. What do
And
you think
Playboi
those
Carti,
SoundCloud rappers are
obviously.
doing now? Or the rappers that popped off from 2016? What do you think they're looking at? I just spoke to my homeboy about this. When guys talk about Uzi or Carti or Thug, right? Guys gotta realize they've been watching this scene very closely. They ain't chasing old mainstream formulas. They see where the wave going. You got Thug reforming
They're innovators. They understand where it's gonna be.
YSL with fresh energy, signing artists like Tease to Diamond who bring yin and yang. Diamond give you that smooth, groovy feel, while Teases come in with that raw, aggressive energy. And it doesn't matter if it's on paper or not, because this is the same guy that had his eye on Nine Vicious in his earliest days. Even if he not signed on paper anymore, the main thing that Nine talk about is YSL. He's slime. He hate Thug here and there, but he love him. And just looking back at the vision that Thug had for Nine was crazy. And yes, I get it. Ken did some work behind this. Lil Gotti did some work behind this. But don't forget, Thug still considered Nine to be signed to YSL. No matter what way you put it, his first year having a spark, he's already at Rolling Loud, had one of the best sets, and his crowd was out of control. Thug keep those guys around. He got Oway.
He's
He know where
going
his crowd's
up.
coming from.
He's on
Same with
that
Cardi and
upward
YBL. You
trajectory
ain't even
for
gotta bring Thug
sure. He
much.
knows
Let's
what
just talk
he's
about attacking
doing.
this tour. Half the people on the stage was so-called underground, but people don't realize, yo, that's intentional. Every other week on that damn tour, we seen a new artist popping on stage, and those same artists are booking at Rolling Loud, getting major deals for themselves, signing distros, and making their own heavy spark. I mean, shit, look at Uzi. Every other week or every other month, he's showing love to somebody in the scene. He done got his own label now too. He know what's up. They just tapping in with the same energy that built them. Those same guys I just named don't even look at the middle tier acts at all, because what they got building in the scene right now is already moving the culture forward. The future isn't the old middle class, it's right here. And these new artists don't need mainstream validation. Y'all remember that time where Ack hated bars?
Exactly. They're their own like mainstream rap and underground rap. It's like two different groups that come together. And when they do that, it just it's like you're forming what we have with the mainstream for all the basic listeners. People that still listen to Drake or some bullshit, you know. And then you get your experimental, you get your where the genre is going here on the underground side. And it's just like this side is so much more alluring. It's like would you would you rather eat at McDonald's or a five-star burger joint? You know what I mean? The underground is a five-star joint, obviously, because the mainstream is putting out McDonald's level menu items.
He said, what the fuck is this? This Cardi clone, get him out of here. Now that same guy is headlining Rolling Loud. That same guy that was under a fucking tent at Rolling Loud is a damn headliner last minute because of YoungBoy dropping out. These same artists that people try to downplay, bro, are building entire movements. And of course, I know that Rolling Loud has always been somewhat still underground. It also started as underground. But the CEO said it himself. It's a new beginning.
Sorry to
Hell,
interrupt,
Ed,
but this is
bro,
important.
you
The
are
shooter who
interrupting.
murdered my sweet little Daniel brought a highly lethal weapon with him to my son's first.
A new era, and that whole recent list definitely had majority of the scene. We haven't seen anything like that in a long time. Every year there's about like 3 to 4 artists. Okay,
Hey,
cool. But this year was totally different. The whole flip side happened. That's why I feel like people are so disconnected. They look at these new artists and say, who are these people? What is this sound? Why are they so big? This is just a copy and paste. And they only say that because the culture moved online faster than traditional media. The new generation discovered their stars without blogs, radio, television, and by the time media mainstream figures realized that was happening, these same artists already had thousands of fans waiting outside venues. That's why these moments matter so much. Rolling Loud wasn't just a festival set. It was right in our faces, gang. Proof that these fan bases are real. Proof that the underground isn't temporary anymore.
I'm
Because a
so
lot of
glad
these
I
artists
got
are
to
just getting
go,
started. It's dudes
even
out
if
there
I
still
am
calling
dead
E,
broke
Key
right now.
Carson, and Lone still underground. Well, they gotta sell out arenas for them to be mainstream. What middle class rapper is selling out arenas right now? Who's doing that anyway? The people that y'all call underground rappers are doing more than those middle class rappers when they do book an arena or a medium sized venue. Bro, you're not gonna tell me that Osama Sun is underground when he just sold more than that first week just based off of streaming. Bro,
That
just go
is
look at their live
true, but
performances.
Like the numbers are getting higher. Yeah. I think the underground needs a new name. I agree with that.
Look at Rich the Kid crowd and look at where Nine is at. You're not finna tell me that Netspin is just deep underground, gang. He just sold more than Jack Harlow first week. It's Jack Harlow. These were huge artists for the middle class tier in that mainstream category. Yes, that was a thing. Osama San even sold more than Offset recently.
Osama San has sold more first week than Kodak Black, Ty Dolla Sign, and Offset in 1 month is insane, bro. The new generation's taking over. If you have a cult following, they will show out for you, bro. Okay, they will.
This underground niche, as you put it, has created its own mainstream. Some of these guys are becoming the new faces of a whole different scene. The people that have been early to the scene, the pages, the streamers, the editors, photographers, curators, and the fans, they already seen this coming. Now everybody else is finally catching up. And people seen that, and it became a huge combo surrounding Rolling Loud. But yeah, I'm done, Chan. Let me know how y'all feel about this whole thing, man. Am I just talking? Do I have a point? What do y'all disagree with? Anyways, make sure to follow my Twitch and my IG right now, OMG Duty. I love y'all so much. Y'all stay blessed. Peace.
Yo, go. That was a good video.
There is a one major upside.
Um, brief little analysis of the finish of that video. I genuinely think the underground's about to blow up even bigger than it is already. I think what we're seeing is the numbers are steady rising for these underground rappers, and they're putting out better music than the mainstream is right now because the youth is they're taking their chance, and that's what it is. This happened in 2016 with guys like Uzi, with X, with Lil Peep, with Trippy, with Playboy Cardi, right? All those guys. That was that era. Now you're gonna hear a lot of hate on these new underground rappers, but um that's a new wave. They're gonna be household names here in a couple years.